session is essentially about their rPET journey, how they're closing the loop. And we are really delighted to have with us today Mr. Shahzaid Mazhar, who is the Supply Chain Director for Beverages at PepsiCo Pakistan. So with this, we'll start this chat session, and this is being live streamed on all our social media channels. And also, if you are at the expo and conference venue, which is Allama Iqbal Open University, you can see outside on the screens and listen what Shahzaid is about to share around the rPET journey. So with this, hi Shahzaid.
Hello, hi, how are you?
I'm doing well, hope you're doing good.
Absolutely, thank you so much.
So Shahzaid, before I talk about the rPET journey, first of all, tell me how has been your journey with PepsiCo Pakistan?
All right, so I'm an engineer by education. I have almost 17 years of experience working with many global FMCGs. PepsiCo I joined in April 2020, and I was looking after beverages supply chain for our South bottlers initially. I stayed in that role for 3.5 years. During that time, I was lucky enough to work on the rPET project, basically. And then I moved to snacks as plant manager for Multan Snacks plant. And then since February, I'm looking after end-to-end supply chain for beverages for Pakistan and Afghanistan. So like I said, I was lucky enough to be part of this journey from the inception. And of course, it gives me real pleasure to, see the amount of scale-up that we've been able to do so far on this journey.
That's really inspiring, and especially witnessing from the start a journey that has so much attached to it, not just as a case study, but also as a case study for the entire country, because waste management is a huge crisis.
Absolutely.
So now, this rPET is part of your PEP Positive initiative.
Yeah.
So can you elaborate what exactly is PepsiCo Positive, or you say PEP Positive?
Yeah, absolutely. So PepsiCo Positive is a transformational program around sustainability that PepsiCo launched in 2021. And it basically comprises of 4 pillars. Starting off with positive value chain. Positive value chain is about creating positive impact on the planet with regards to our operations. Basically, we aim to reduce our carbon emissions within our operations, as well as with our even all the way going to the suppliers as well. With that, we are also committed to reducing water consumption in our operations. We are also committed to reducing virgin plastic consumption in our operations. So that is all about positive value chain. Then we have a pillar around positive agriculture, which talks about having 100% of our sustainably sourced direct materials that we are having. For example, potato. So we are talking about having 100% sustainably sourced potato. So that is all about positive agriculture. Then positive choices is about catering to evolving consumer needs around healthier products. And last but not the least, we believe in having an inclusive environment, an inclusive culture, not just for within PepsiCo, but also in the societies and communities that we operate in. So all in all, this is PepsiCo Positive in a nutshell.
Wow, so you guys are actually touching upon every aspect of your value chain. That's interesting to know, because as a common Pakistani or a common consumer, I did not know about this journey. So thank you for sharing about that. So you highlighted PEP Positive, and I think you have also covered the key pillars around what is the PEP Positive initiative about. So now let's talk about how PepsiCo is leading the circular economy of plastics in Pakistan. And this question is, I'm sure, is close to the heart of almost every other consumer who wants to be responsible and who think that PET waste is a problem. But they're not aware that the multinational corporations who are producing PET are also working towards its recycling. So if you can elaborate.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, PET waste is definitely a problem, right? But our ambition is to make sure that any PET that we're consuming does not go into waste. So that's our overall ambition, right? And that basically starts off from having a product packaging which is recyclable by design. Right, so that is the first and foremost thing that we are looking into, having a packaging which is recyclable by design. And I'm happy to share that as of now, we are 100%, our packaging is 100% recyclable, right? So that is the first thing, right? The second thing is to create an infrastructure where you are basically collecting the post-consumer packaging that from the market, and you're putting it into the recycling stream, right? So that is the second element. And again, I'm happy to share that we in 2021 launched the biggest recycling program in Pakistan, collection and recycling program in Pakistan. with partnership with companies like Green Earth, WWF, and Novartex, amongst many others. So we launched the biggest plastic collection program in Pakistan, and now we are kind of, year on year scaling it up. And we aim to ensure that 100% of our PET bottles which we sell, right, they are collected and they're put back into the recycling stream. And the third element of it is, of course, to make sure that we're not only collecting and recycling, we are putting that product back into our packaging, right, which is all, rPET is all about basically, right. So we launched rPET end of 2022, and as of now, 40%, more than 40% of our plastic that we're consuming is basically recycled PET.
So you're actually closing the entire loop.
Absolutely.
That's amazing actually. So, and it's pertinent to note here that for a common consumer, you should be aware that these the MNCs are not always irresponsible. They are bound by laws. They are bound by reporting. They are bound by their global companies that they have to be responsible. They have to be sustainable enough so that they are not contributing towards the damage that we are witnessing in context of sustainability, in context of climate. And for that, it's not just the responsibility of your MNCs only, it's also essentially about responsible consumption as well when we're talking about plastics. So the narrative that, producers to be held responsible, yes, they should be. But what about consumers who are demanding the plastics? And that is why it is in the market. And for this kind of rPET, I believe, recycled PET bottle, the demand has to come from you. Yeah. If you demand recycled bottle, the price will be reduced. Do you agree with me on that? Because I understand this, we have been discussing this throughout, that because there's less demand for rPET, so it has a cost attached to it.
Absolutely.
And then recycling is also informal.
Yeah.
So that is a challenge. Is it a challenge for your company as well?
Absolutely, it's a huge challenge. I mean, the availability of, feedstock, right, which we call in our, in technical terms, that in itself is a challenge because Pakistan remains to be primarily informal when it comes to, plastic collection, right? So that is for us a big challenge. We have to, devise a whole network of making sure that, we are collecting these bottles from length and breadth of the country, and then of course, putting them back into the recycling stream, right? So few years ago, there was no infrastructure to recycle, and not just to recycle, but also to have a food-grade rPET. There was no food-grade rPET facility in Pakistan. But again, I'm happy to share that we have Novartex who invested into this food-grade rPET facility, and of course, we through collaborating with them, we were able to launch rPET bottles, and now we are scaling it up. But like I said, collection remains to be a challenge, and that is where we, of course, would want to collaborate with NGOs, to collaborate with government bodies to make sure that plastic is getting collected and put back into the recycling stream.
And I believe Novartex is the only company who can do this so far, creating that grain and for the resin and recycling it. I haven't heard, at least I haven't seen any other company who is able to manage this, and that is also a challenge when there is a demand for MNCs to do recycling, and if that is not indigenous, it's going to create a cost for the consumer. So I think it has to be a win-to-win situation for not just for the companies, for the consumers, but also for those who are who want to involve in this responsible recycling and responsible ethical business. But if they do not have the infrastructure, if they do not have the right kind of policy consistency that is needed, they will suffer, and so is the investment in the country. So I think that's a very important question, so a very important response you have shared with us. Now, how is PepsiCo leveraging these partnerships to scale up the plastics? I think you have mentioned about Novartex and WWF, but do you have plans? And by the way, they have a stall. I also saw an RVM on your stall.
Yeah,
vending machine,
absolutely.
Right? So, and also you support an SME, Dastane Roman.
Yeah.
So, can you talk about that? How an MNC is working towards supporting SMEs and sustainability in this sector?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, it's all about collaboration and partnerships. No one company can tackle this problem on its own, right? So from the word go, we we partnered with WWF, we partnered with Green Earth Recycling, we partnered with 5-Star Polymer, we partnered, of course, Novartex has been our partner over the last many years, right? So it's all about partnership for me, I think, and again, all of us need to come together to tackle this huge problem, right? And once we are able to create that partnership, we are able to collaborate amongst ourselves, and we are also able to bring in support from the government as well, right? So if we are able to do so, I'm sure we will definitely have a very, very bright future for circular economy in Pakistan.
Absolutely, I think collaboration is the key if you want to engage in context of addressing the plastic pollution, which has not been, no country in the world has been able to address it yet. So if in Pakistan, private sector is engaging in this debate and they are trying their best to invite collaborations like Shahdev did just now, I think we should all be open to engage with them and collaborate for this purpose, because plastics is not just your problem, it is everybody's problem. So thank you for responding to that. And also in context of why is packaging an important priority for PepsiCo?
So you see, I mean, we, as part of PepsiCo, we want to have a positive impact on our society and on our planet, right? While plastic is an excellent, packaging material, right? It is cheaper, it is, food grade, right? And it is available at scale, right? So plastic in itself is not a problem, but not having it put back into the recycling stream creates the problem. So if it does not go into the recycling stream, what will happen is either it will go to landfills and pollute the ground, or it will go into the oceans and pollute the marine life basically, right? So that said, for us it is extremely important to understand that the problem is to make sure that we're able to collect post-consumer bottles and put them back into the recycling stream, and that is exactly what we're trying for, and we are we have been partly successful with as well.
Right. So now an important question. Yes, I think rPET, your entire journey, it seems like very interesting, and it seems like something that should be scaled up, especially around there's a general perception that we have a lot of plastic waste because of the PET. Although that is not true, because I myself is working in this circular economy, and I do understand that the major source of plastic comes from the agri sector. So I think that there are so many sectors that we need to look at instead of, because PET is visible, so you are able to point that out, okay, that is the major stream of plastics, but that is not the case actually. Now coming towards an important question, connecting to what I've said, what do you think is the perception among the general consumers around rPET? How do they perceive it?
I think the overall sentiment is quite positive. Even globally, the consumers are looking for brands which talk about safeguarding the planet. We all know, what havoc, climate changes, having on the planet in itself, right? And Pakistan is at the forefront of, climate change, right? So consumers do understand that, and they want to, support brands and buy brands which talk about, safeguarding the planet, right? So that, for me, I think is there in Pakistan as well. Generally, the consumer feedback is quite positive about rPET. Having said that, there is still a room opportunity for creating more awareness, around rPET, because some consumers tend to have this, misconception whether rPET is hygienic or is it safe to consume. But of course, we follow all the guardrails, governing the use of rPET in food grade packaging. So I can assure that it is as safe as vPET. So I mean that awareness work obviously needs to kind of be done more to educate the consumers more.
So I think that's extremely, interesting and amazing journey. But you guys also must be having certain challenges. I mean, it cannot be that smooth, straight line, and you create an rPET and then you introduce it to the market. There has to be some challenges. So can you highlight what were the challenges?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, the availability of segregated feedstock, right? That for us is the biggest challenge, right? And of course, that consumer awareness need to be created across the board to segregate waste and to kind of segregate PET as PET, so that it is easier for us to put it back into the recycling stream, because at this point in time it is very, very costly to do so, right? And if it is costly to do, then it is costly for us to kind of use rPET in our operations as well, right? So for us, I think the most important bit is how we create that awareness in the consumers for segregation, and how we are able to kind of scale up the infrastructure on PET collection and segregation and sorting, right? So that for me is the biggest challenge. And then, of course, all of us, like I said, have to come together. It's not a one company problem, it's a societal problem. And of course, we need to partner with different other companies which we're already doing. We need to partner with government bodies, again, which we're doing, but I think there's still room for improvement in that space. And of course, the consumers need to come together to support us in this journey as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Shahzeb. I think it has been an amazing chat session, especially for a consumer like me, and I'm sure so many others, to learn about how the MNCs, how the companies who produce this plastic are also responsibly managing it. And yes, I do understand that because of no waste sorting, it's a huge challenge for MNCs to do that, and no formal recycling. That is another big challenge. And then there is hardly any priority coming from the public sector as well. But now, I mean, Punjab government is trying to focus, shift its focus, and so is the federal government. So a message from this platform: banning certain products without providing its alternatives is no solution. It will backfire like it has in the past. The solution is to engage your stakeholders, to engage the producers, talk to them, and then come up with solutions that are beneficial for not just for you, for the companies, but for the common person or the consumers. So it's important that we provide a level playing field to the businesses so that they can thrive, and so that your overall your country economic GDP growth rate also thrives with environmental conscious behavior. Thank you so much. That's all.
Thank you.